folks, AJ here. I hope you're doing super duper well. Now in this video I will be looking at Princess Catherine's involvement in the Scouts and her spiritual awakening that they talk about in Hello magazine. But before I do, I want to show you some images. These are some beautiful shots I took in the Lake District. We went to Keswick. I highly recommend this place. Absolutely beautiful, great restaurants, charity shops, art galleries, and lots to do. We did a lot of hill walking and we climbed a mountain. We climbed the highest mountain in England, Scaffold Pike, a mountain I've never climbed before. I've done Ben Nevis in Scotland, which is the highest mountain in Britain. But yeah, this is the highest mountain in England, so a big feat for me. And yeah, we really enjoyed it. And I must say it was really good for the old buttocks. I feel like I've got, I don't know, 30% less sag on my buttocks just from one day of climbing. Sorry if that's too much information. I do apologize, but yes, let's get into this video. I just want to say a massive happy birthday and best wishes to Prince Louis, as it's his 7th birthday today. And here we have a picture of him looking very, very happy amongst nature. I wonder if he takes after his mum with nature, loving being in the outdoors. But yeah, I love Prince Louis. He's such a little dude. I love his little cheeky antics, his little dancing on the balcony. And here he is, you know, with his teeth, his front teeth are missing and the new ones are coming through. So that's so exciting for him. What a little dude. So yeah, this is a new photograph taken by, who's it taken by? Josh, where is his name? Josh Shinner, who also took pictures of Prince William and Catherine's family before, including for their Christmas card for 2023. But yeah, the picture is posted on social media with the message wishing Prince Louis a very happy 7th birthday, along with a birthday cake emoji. Beautiful. And there he is. Isn't he gorgeous? Happy birthday, Prince Louis. Now I'm going to react to this video on the Prince and Princess of Wales YouTube channel, Scouts and Access to Nature, the Princess of Wales and Dwayne Fields. So yeah.
When you come out here, when all the stresses and strains of regular life happen and you come into a space like this, what do you think about?
I find it a very spiritual and very intense, emotional reconnection, I suppose, these environments. Not everyone has that same relationship, perhaps, with nature, but it is so therefore meaningful for me as a place to balance and find a sort of sense of peace and reconnection.
Okay, so Princess Catherine is explaining that nature to her is a place to find balance and to reconnect after, I think she says, after being in a busy world. And it is, like, I really agree, like nature is the best place to go when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by everything going on in your life, and it just gives you that sense of peace.
What is otherwise a very busy world?
It's important to remind people that we do belong in a space like this.
Yes.
And there's joy to be had, challenges to take on. I think it's really important for young people to have access to nature because it's a space where they can push themselves, they can challenge themselves, they learn leadership skills, spend time making friends and those lifelong, really great memories that we all hold on to. And I think if we can do that, we'll build up a generation who's passionate about our natural spaces and passionate about protecting them as well. Hello. Sorry to break in.
Yeah, it's so important for young people to be out in nature and also to get away from the screens. You know, there's so many screens, like video games, phones, iPads, whatever. You know, it's so great for them to just be outdoors and to run around and play. And the Scouts is amazing. You know, my kids are in the Scouts and they absolutely love it. It's just so great for kids to develop these life skills. And yeah, it's amazing to see Catherine talking about being in nature. And, you know, talking to these Scouts here in the Lake District, which is very fitting because that's where we just went this past week. But yeah, I love this video.
How are you all doing? Good?
Isn't she lovely?
Here, you can see Lake Windermere, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, we went round Lake Windermere. It's
What's so
massive.
fantastic about the Scouts is that the same foundations that have always been there, and still, despite how different the modern day world is now, actually it still resonates with so many young people, and it's making such a massive difference to them.
They inspire me in many ways. They grow up happily, so they learn all the skills, they have more confidence, they have more self-esteem. These are very important skills for them to succeed in their life.
The skills you learn within scouting are things that you can apply
Fantastic.
in school, in work, in
They're true,
careers.
they're life skills.
They're life skills, and that's why I'm so proud when we talk about skills for life. I think it's brilliant. The great thing is, the Princess of Wales is our joint president, and having someone of her profile being our president is great for the Scout movement. When you come out into a natural environment, it helps you understand yourself that much more. We really belong in nature, we're in tune with it. And I think we need to come back to it because there is definitely something about being in nature that's connected to our well-being.
Hear, hear. So I thought this article looked very interesting. I haven't read it yet, but I thought I would read it to you. Princess Kate's spiritual reawakening that's impacting her family dynamic. The Princess of Wales has opened up about nature, giving her a fresh perspective on life. So yeah, I just reacted to that video about the Scouts and how she loves to connect to nature and she finds it very spiritual. So yeah, let's read this. Beautiful picture of Catherine here, looking very natural as usual and happy. She looks very happy in herself. Okay. The healing power of nature has helped sustain the Princess of Wales through her most challenging times, and as she looks to the future with a new perspective on life, her love of the outdoors has unlocked her spiritual side too. Last week, Kate, 43, revealed how getting out in nature has brought her a sense of peace and helped her find balance in her life as she recovers from cancer. So here she is when she went on a walk with Chief Scout Dwayne Fields. I find it a very spiritual and very intense emotional reconnection, I suppose, being in these environments, she said during a visit to the Lake District. I totally get what she's talking about. But yeah, let's finish this quote. She said, "Not everyone has that same relationship perhaps with nature, but it is so meaningful for me as a place to balance and find a sense of peace and reconnection in what is otherwise a very busy world." Yeah, good on her. She's been through so much recovering from cancer. And before that, let's not forget, she was one of the royals who was alleged as being racist by, was it Omid Scobie, coming out in his book as saying it was Prince Charles at the time, now King Charles, and Princess Catherine. And, she went through so much, going through that, in the media, like being a public figure, so famous, in one of the most famous families in the world, for Meghan to go on Oprah Winfrey and to insinuate that they are racist. It must have been very, very difficult. And I'm not surprised if she's gone through a spiritual awakening after dealing with narcissistic people. Harry and Meghan, as I've said before, they are narcissistic. Lots of people see it. I had an awful experience with a narcissist, and that's why straight away I saw Meghan. We can see through people. I think once you've dealt with a narcissist, you see it very clearly. And, I've not been surprised the way it's all played out, because I saw right from the engagement video what Meghan was like. And I understand that not everyone can see this. If you have not dealt with a narcissist, it's very difficult to spot. But I think a lot of people commenting on Meghan and Harry on YouTube, like Lady C, like, don't you just love Lady C? She talks about her mother was a narcissist and she saw through Meghan. A lot of people have dealt with narcissists and, they're speaking their truth, their opinions, and that's what I do here. But yeah, I'm not surprised that Princess Catherine is going through a spiritual awakening, because when you go through, dealing with a narcissist, it is one of the most awful experiences that you can go through. You know, these people can be so damaging, and they create a circus, and we've seen it happen with Meghan and Harry. They've created a storm, a circus, and then they blame it on everyone else, saying, oh, everyone's, you know, playing the race card, which is very unfair. But yeah, let's read on. Spiritual awakening. Kate is known for her grounded and practical nature, but royal insiders say that last year's health crisis has had a transformative effect. Yeah, so that's what they're saying brought this on, like her cancer treatment. But I really, you know, this is my opinion. I think dealing with narcissists can cause someone to, you know, to find something deeper within themselves, within life. You know, you start not sweating the small things and just seeing what's important, you know, and going into nature can have such a huge effect on your well-being. Royal biographer Robert Johnson, author of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, tells Hello, throughout her illness and recovery, the princess has certainly reconnected with nature in the same way the king has. But she has also had a bit of a religious, spiritual reawakening, as has Prince William, I understand. Very interesting. So both of them seem to be waking up, you know, they're going through this spiritual awakening where they are able to find peace within their lives, which is like really beautiful to see, because they deserve it after what's been a really tough like few years for them. And yeah, while Harry is like battling out in court and, you know, falling out in, you know, charity fallouts with Centre Bali's chairwoman, Dr. Sophie Chandauka, you know, Harry is just battling all the time. It's, you know, it's just no end to his, you know, his worries, his sense of being a victim, whereas Princess Catherine and Prince William are like, you know, they're being very quiet and peaceful and family orientated, and you know, you can just tell they are like really good people. I have never met them. I've met a few people in the royal family. I met the Queen. I was very honoured to meet the Queen. You know, I will always remember that. And I saw that she is a good person. You know, the Queen was a Christian, and I always thought when they went through this with Oprah Winfrey that the Queen had religion, you know, she had faith, and I thought that would get her through. And Prince William and Princess Catherine didn't have that faith. Well, as far as I'm aware, they didn't have that faith that the Queen had, and maybe, you know, going through the spiritual awakening now is really helping them to not be affected so much by all of the chaos surrounding Meghan and Harry, and just to like really live their lives, enjoy, you know, live in like peace, joy, happiness. And yeah, I haven't seen them look so happy ever before in pictures. I really think, you know, this article rings true. I think, you know, I really do think they're going through a spiritual awakening, and you know, it's really nice to see. Let's read on. Catherine has always been an outdoorsy person, but her love of nature has taken on a whole new dimension since her cancer diagnosis. She has learned to appreciate the small, simple things in life all the more. As a busy mother, it would be easy for her to forget to get outside every day, but this is now a priority, and she appreciates the sun, the trees, and the wildlife around her more than ever. So yeah, that's beautiful. Back to nature. The Easter holidays have given William and Kate a chance to enjoy time in the countryside with Prince George XI, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, who celebrates his 7th birthday this week. The family decamped to Amna Hall, their home on the Sandringham estate in Norfolk, where they excuse me, make the most of open spaces and vast sandy beaches on their doorstep. Yeah, and this comes at a time when, you know, in Montecito, where is Harry? There's no pictures of Harry, Meghan and the kids. You know, it's just Meghan and this guy, the photographer, looking very intimate together. You know, at a time when you think during Easter holidays, it's a time for family. you know, to be with the kids as a family, like, you know, William and Catherine are doing. So yeah, the worlds couldn't be further apart. But yeah, this is really nice to see. I'm so happy to see Princess Catherine looking so at peace and happy, and you know, after everything she's gone through, I feel like she's coming out a better person, a happier person, and she's very at ease with herself. You can tell she's very happy with herself, which is great. Anyway, I hope this finds you happy with yourself. I hope you're doing well, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Send you a big kiss. Bye.